As you probably know, the United States just had a presidential election. This election is causing a lot of controversy surrounding the Electoral College, which is a complicated process based on the popular vote within states, but that is not the focus of this video. In this video, we are going to talk about the 5 times the Electoral College went against the popular vote. Number 1. Andrew Jackson against John Quincy Adams in 1824. This election, Andrew Jackson received the most votes and the most Electoral College votes, but did not win the presidency. This is because no candidate won the required amount of Electoral College votes to secure the presidency. So this election was decided by the House of Representatives under the 12th Amendment, which allowed each member of the House to vote to break the tie, since the required amount of Electoral College votes was not reached. As a result, Adams won the election. This loss inspired Andrew Jackson to create the Democratic Party. Number 2. Rutherford B. Hayes against Samuel J. Tilden in 1876. This election is the most disputed election on the list. Democrat Samuel J. Tilden had received 3% more of the popular vote than his opponent, Rutherford B. Hayes. After the first count of votes, Tilden had 184 electoral votes out of the required 185 to win, with Hayes having 165 electoral votes. But after this count, there were still 20 electoral votes unresolved. The 20 electoral votes ended up going to Hayes, giving him exactly 185 electoral votes to win the election. This election is the only election where a candidate won over 50% of the popular vote and still lost. Also, this election had the highest voter turnout rate in the presidential election in U.S. history, with 81.8% of the population participating to vote. Number 3. Benjamin Harrison against Grover Cleveland in 1888. Incumbent President Grover Cleveland was seeking re-election and won the popular vote by a margin of 0.8% against Harrison. The main force that kept Cleveland from being re-elected was the power of Tammany Hall, which caused New York to swing to Harrison, leaving Harrison 233 electoral votes against Cleveland's 168 electoral votes. This was not the end of Grover Cleveland, as he rematched Harrison in 1892 and defeated him to become the only president to have 2 non-consecutive terms. Number 4. George W. Bush against Al Gore in 2000. This election was by far the closest election in U.S. history, with George W. Bush winning by a margin of 0.009% of the vote in Florida, which gave Bush 271 electoral votes out of the required 270 to secure the presidency. This margin equates to 537 votes that made the state of Florida turn in favor of Bush. Al Gore had won the popular vote by 0.5% and won 266 electoral votes, but it just wasn't enough to win the presidency. Many Democrats blame the Green Party candidate Ralph Nader for Gore's loss due to him winning 2.7% of the popular vote. Since Gore was the incumbent vice president, he had to count out the Electoral College votes and announce to Congress that his opponent defeated him by a margin of 2 Electoral College votes. That must have been awkward. Number 5. Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton in 2016. Although at the time of making this video, it is not officially declared, but it seems that Donald Trump won the electoral vote but lost the popular vote by a margin of 1.56%, which could still change. This was a very heated election that many polls thought Donald Trump would lose by a large margin to Hillary Clinton. Instead, it seems like Trump will win by 74 electoral votes, putting him at 306 electoral votes to Clinton's 232 electoral votes. Since some votes are still being counted in certain states, the voter turnout rate cannot be accurately determined, but it will be interesting to see in the coming weeks. That's it for today. If you want to see more in-depth videos on any of these elections or events around the same time period, please leave a comment down below. I tried to make this video short, but I can go on for hours about them, so if you're interested in any, please let me know and I'll try to make a video on it. I would like to apologize again for my inactivity. I know I'll try to upload more frequently, but school has been eating up a lot of my free time. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next chapter.